Now, as you can see in the hole, it's pretty deep, but the question is, how deep will it continue to get? Now, contractors won't be able to repair it until Monday, so what will the consequences be for these families? The family that lives here calls this the killer tree because they've lost not one, but 2 cars to this tree. With ticket prices going up and additional charges for baggage, flyers are having to find different ways to afford to fly. Tomorrow now is where the real fun begins, with a 50% chance of rain and the possibility that that rain will turn into snow. So you might want to bring your snow boots with you on that morning commute. Definitely an umbrella. It's signs like these that are making it next to impossible for residents to park for work. So some people are saying maybe parking permits are the solution. The state released this memo to schools saying if students don't complete part 2 of the exam by the end of the month, then part 1 won't count. With summer temperatures climbing, mechanics say one of the best things you can do is just simply check your tire pressure. With 2 big wins in the bag over Montana and Cal, local restaurant managers are saying business has really picked up. I spoke to some of these managers to find out just how much of a boom they see during March Madness. It may not look like it now, but when an SU men's basketball tournament game is on, PJ's Pub in Syracuse is packed with excited SU fans. And these fans have been spending money like crazy. Scott Everts, one of the owners of PJ's, says a win for SU is a financial win for PJ's.
As long as Syracuse keeps playing, we stay busy.
And just how much money is PJ's making off of food during March Madness?
Probably $2,000 to $3,000 more in sales per week with when college basketball's in full swing like this.
And that's just food sales. Scott says they sell about 200 more beers when Syracuse plays in the tournament for the night compared to a normal weekend. John Peretti, a customer of PJ, says he goes to restaurants to watch the game for 2 reasons.
Cheeseburgers and beer.
You don't have to be a sit-down restaurant to be cashing in during game time. Delivery is another key way fans are filling up during the game. Jimmy John's on Marshall Street is one of those restaurants who focuses their attention on getting food to the at-home game viewer. Dustin Bowden, the general manager of Jimmy John's, says when it's game time, it's delivery time.
You always notice that it's halftime because the phones start ringing, people want deliveries, they have that lull time so they can take a break from the action to get the orders in.
And Dustin says these delivery orders bring in about $500 extra a day, as long as SU keeps winning.
Since March Madness goes on for several weeks, hopefully, we and have Syracuse playing, we get every time they play, it's better and better.
Jimmy John's gets so much business during March Madness, Dustin says they even staff an extra delivery driver and manager those nights just to keep up. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Colin Brown. From specialty dog food to cashmere sweaters, pets are definitely getting the royal treatment. But now one local business is using its passion for pets and environmental science background to create a money-making tail wagger. Let's face some facts. We treat our dogs pretty well.
He goes for a bath every week, and he only eats rotisserie chicken.
Full Circle Feed is a new Syracuse company that's turning people's love of pets and the founder's environmental science background into a money-making business. The company's founder, Michael Amadori, is getting his piece of the pie by making dog treats from leftover food from university dining halls.
We grind it all up, we mix it, and then we cook it under high pressure, high heat to sterilize it. And then I'll add maybe some grains and some flour to dry it out because food is like 70% water.
And that's all it takes to dry out the food and make the biscuits. Full Circle Feed might be drying up human food to make dog treats, but that doesn't mean their bank account's going to be drying up anytime soon. The eco-friendly process helps keep costs low, so Amadori is able to sell the treats a few dollars cheaper than the other gourmet companies.
They're going to be less than like the real high-end treats, which will retail for over $12 a pound.
And since Full Circle can make them for less, local stores can buy them for less. That means lower prices for local dog owners.
Lee's Feed is a feed store in the Valley. Dog Days is a pet shop in North Syracuse. So those are the stores we're going to be selling in first.
Full Circle Feed says it plans to expand its brand by next year to also cover dog and cat food. Live from the studio, I'm Colin Brown. Fierce competition to get a parking spot in the Westcott area has been causing tension between college students and other residents for years. And now the students are getting the blame. But some don't think punishing the students with mandatory parking permits is the right answer.
I think this is outrageous. I definitely don't think the students are to blame. What would the Syracuse community be without the students here at the university?
Megan Corbett is one of nearly 8,000 students who goes to Syracuse University and lives off campus. These students are being blamed by the city for the overcrowded parking in the neighborhoods near SU. In a plan discussed by the Common Council today, the city plans on making Eastside residents use on-street parking permits. The program's goal is to, quote, make it harder for students to bring a car to school, and therefore stop students from taking up all of the spots. Megan says it's already hard enough being a student in the area. The city doesn't need to make it harder.
And I don't think it would be possible to live over here without a car. You have a kitchen, you need to get food, go to the grocery store. Tops is close, but it's not that close. You can't walk to it.
It's signs like these that are making it next to impossible for students to park off campus. But some students are saying permits might be the solution. Sam Greenberg, a junior at SU who lives off campus, says permits might limit her, but they do have their advantages.
Because you wouldn't have random people coming to park, but the people who actually lived off campus would be able to.
Common Councilor Gene Kessner introduced the plan and says the council will continue to work on the bill to work at the kinks some students are upset about.
Knowing that it's a dynamic document, that it will change, there are certain things council feels very strongly, certain things that need to be included.
The permits would only restrict parking on the streets during business hours on weekdays. The bill will allow students more parking freedom at night and on the weekends. Live from the studio, I'm Colin Brown.